It's Homecoming 2025 here in Lorena, Texas, high above Leopard Field. Good evening, everyone. Welcome into the broadcast booth. My name is Jared Brown, alongside my broadcast partner, the fourth-place finisher in the three-man race for the 1996 Lorena High School Homecoming King, Billy Rutherford. And Billy, it is homecoming in Lorena. Been a huge week, an exciting week to go, and homecoming is always kind of a big deal here in Lorena. But more importantly for this Leopard football team, they need a win at home. Losers of 7 straight desperately need to break that home losing streak.
Yeah, 100%. And no better way to do it at homecoming, which is probably going to be one of the bigger crowds of the year, right? But 100%, Jared. I mean, that's the thing. You got to get that stigma off you a little bit, get that bad taste out of your mouth, and tonight's a great opportunity.
Yeah. So before we get to tonight's matchup in the Yeoman, I want to take a quick peek back to last week's game against Franklin. And, I mean, we know that they have the ground attack that they do. Only attempted one pass, and it was not a good one. Ended up running for almost 700 yards. Leopards just could not keep up with them, and just a struggle all night long.
Yeah, I mean, that was just one of those games where their strength was really pitted against probably Lorena's weakness coming in. They're banged up front seven, kind of playing a lot of different guys, got a lot of younger players, but we saw a lot of those younger players step up. But, going up against that wing T style offense that they probably won't see the rest of the year unless it's in the playoffs, that's a tough task, right? And we saw it in production. But what's not lost with that, though, was the Leopard offense.
Right. When we look at Jackson Blanchett and Brody DeLeon both having phenomenal nights on the offensive side of the ball. I actually saw a stat this week. Jackson Blanchett has now thrown for 1,187 yards through the first 3 games. That's tops in the state.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I was talking to Coach Peavyhouse pregame, and he said that previously in his tenure coaching before Lorena, like his entire career, he eclipsed 600 yards 3 times. He's done it all 3 times this year.
Right, and so Blanchett, and not just throwing it to one or two guys. He found 8 receivers against Malakoff. I believe 7 or 8 receivers last week against Franklin. So he is finding ways to get the ball, to spread it out, and really kind of run this Leopard offense. And then when you've got Brody DeLeon toting the rock behind you, I think it gives you a little more confidence as you can stand there in the pocket and throw the ball.
It's a great point, Jared. Now, one of the things as we dug into the stats, they're about 50-50 run pass balance, right? And when you're putting up 600 yards of offense a game, that's tough to do because your offensive coordinator feels like he's got a grab bag and everything's going to work. But kudos to the Leopard staff and the players for keeping that balance. And I know there's a lot of tricks up their sleeve they still haven't shown.
Yep, definitely, and obviously we're going to talk more about what tonight's game looks like. Obviously, the one thing that we still I feel like we have not given enough credit to, which is rare for us. But obviously, Jackson Blanchett doesn't throw for almost 1,200 yards in the first 3 games. Brody DeLeon over the 500-yard mark on the season. Obviously, they can't do that without the offensive line, who really seems to be coming together. There were a couple of mishaps on the line last Friday against Franklin that led to a couple of turnovers, but all in all, this line is really starting to come together and gel.
Yeah, 100%. And we're coming into the season, that was the biggest question mark. Everyone, the coaching staff and everyone around the community was like, how do they replace 4 starters up front, right? Mm-hmm. Well, you do it with program. You do it with a great offensive line coach, Coach Cool. One of the best offensive line coaches in the area, in my humble opinion. And I will say that the breakdowns last week were blitz pickup protection issues and a young offensive line. You're going to have those, right? So hats off to Coach Fannin. He does everything well. He took advantage of something that caught Lorena off guard, but I don't anticipate that's something we'll see moving forward because film study this week had to be a challenge for the offensive line. That's a real proud group, and I look for them to bounce back.
Yep. Well, it's homecoming. It's an exciting time. A lot of alumni both tuning in and here in the stands. We want to thank our newest friend of the program for all of the homecoming from 1996, 1997 data. Kyla Dietrich, thank you so much for taking the time to provide us with all the information about our good friend and Lorena alum, Billy Rutherford. I'll tell you what, Billy, we'll take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll look at tonight's matchup with the Yeoman. We'll also talk to Leopards head coach Kevin Johnson. You're watching the Aquanauts Custom Pool and Spa pregame show. This is Lorena Leopard Football, powered by Rogue Media.
I'm Rusty Robinson with Aquanauts Custom Pool and Spa, where quality and design makes the difference. We specialize in gunite pools, remodels, fiberglass pools. We've got all the selections here in the office between your tile, your coping, your veneer, top of the line equipment, concrete finishes, and anything else that you need. We've got glass tiles, pebble plaster, top of the line travertine coping, and 3cm, 5cm bullnose, anything that you could want on the pool. We're gonna come out to the house, do a 3D design, get everything you need so that we can see your house, your pool, in your yard so that we can make any adjustments.
Syntex Pond, Waco, Hewitt, Temple, and Killeen, here to help you with all your cash flow needs. Bring in all items of value for quick, hassle-free loans or sell them at a fair value and receive the best customer service in Central Texas. From Rolexes to firearms, our experienced staff is here to help when you need cash with compassion and understanding. Check out our Google reviews and come see for yourself. We are proud supporters of Lorena Leopard football. Syntex Pond. We are not in the loan or merchandise business. We are in the people business. Come check us out. Syntex Pond, Waco, Hewitt, Temple, and Killeen.
Welcome back into the broadcast booth high above Leopard Field. Jared Brown, Billy Rutherford here on the Aquanauts Custom Pool and Spa pregame show. Billy, the Leopards welcome in the Cameron Yeoman. Again, as we talked about last week, kind of a rivalry game with Franklin. Cameron has been another team that the Leopards have played for years and years and years, and so maybe not so much of a rivalry as it has been in the past, but certainly a big game between our friends from Milam County as they make the trip up Highway 77 to Lorena. Cameron kind of still in a rebuilding, I guess you'd say, since under second-year coach Aaron Babineau. He's trying, really trying to instill a toughness in his team. I think that's why we may see some lower numbers is that again, toughness kind of weeds them out. But still doing a good job. They've really got some playmakers. If they get the ball into space, they can do a lot with it. So certainly something that the Leopards have to keep their eye on tonight.
Yeah, and that's a really, really good point, Jared. And Coach Babineau obviously played at the University of Texas. He knows the game, instilling that toughness, but more ultimately discipline, right? Last year in the test against Lorena, Cameron actually had an advantage late in that game, and a couple really bad penalties on their part really gave the Leopards the advantage, and the Leopards won the game. I'm not saying because of it, but it was a turning point in the game. But yeah, they've got reduced numbers tonight. This isn't the Cameron team we're used to seeing come into Lorena. But I will say this about the Yo program. It's a very proud program, and every time you step on the field with them, especially as a Leopard, you're in for a big one. Normally they're very competitive games.
Definitely. I mean, 1 and 2 on the year are the Yeomen, just much like the Leopards, who they've played an incredibly difficult schedule. LaGrange to open the year, and then against Sealy. They got a big overtime win against Maypearl last week, and so they kind of do that on the arm of Jacoby Scott, on the legs of Travion Miles. They've also got some other guys that can get the ball out in space, but those two are really ones that the Leopards are going to have to keep their eye on. But I think the bigger and better question is going to be how do they kind of stop? I called it an offensive hydra of the Leopards, in that Jackson Blancett can find any one of 6, 7, 8 receivers at any one time. And then also he's got one of the best running backs in the area, and Brody Daylight he can hand the ball off to. So how is Cameron going to try to stop all of those weapons?
I mean, it's a tough task, and I think that you've seen. Lorena's played 3 really well-coached defenses this year, and we've already spoke to the production of this offense. And I think you hit the nail right on the head, Jared. I think the moment Jackson Blancett was able to find the extra tools and the skill guys outside, I mean, Zach, Espinosa, you've got more Blackwell. Obviously we haven't even talked about Carson Miller.
Right.
And then last week you had, Coates step up with a couple really big catches. And we still haven't talked about Brody DeLeon's ability to not only just run the ball, be a weapon in the passing game too.
Exactly.
And we've seen Brock DeLeon in the passing game. So, picking the Joe Pack Award has become extremely challenging, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, it should be a fun one. I think when we look at this matchup, we look at the Lorena defensive side of the ball. I think one of the biggest things they're going to have to really kind of take a step forward in doing is tackling in space. I think we'll hear Kevin Johnson talk about this a little bit later, that some of his defensive backs may kind of be out on an island by themselves, and even if it's shedding a block and then being out there by yourself, they've got to find a way to tackle in space, because if they don't, and this Cameron team can get the ball in that space, they do have the speed and athleticism to take it to the house.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to play a lot of man, or if you're going to play a lot, offenses in this day and age, we're not running double tight end power I.
Hey, Leopard fans, looking to build the home of your dreams? Look no further than BAM Builders, your trusted local custom home builder. From foundation to finish, BAM brings your vision to life with quality, craftsmanship, and a team that truly cares. It's time to build something amazing. right here in Leopard Country. Call 254-716-9987 or visit builtbybam.com.
Mums, I hear bells ringing, cowbells going off everywhere. The Lorena Band is actually on the field right now doing their halftime performance since the homecoming activities will be taking place at halftime. So I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk to Leopards head coach Kevin Johnson, get his thoughts on tonight's game. It's the Aquanauts Custom Pool and Spa pregame show, part of the BAM Builders and Syntex Pond broadcast of Lorena Leopard football.
To get started. That's builtbybam.com. BAM Builders, built with heart, built for you. Hey, Leopard fans, looking to build the home of your dreams? Look no further than BAM Builders, your trusted local custom home builder. From foundation to finish, BAM brings your vision to life with quality, craftsmanship, and a team that truly cares. It's time to build something amazing right here in Leopard Country. Call 254-716-9987 or visit builtbybam.com to get started. That's builtbybam.com. BAM Builders, built with heart, built for you.
Come see us at the Sonic in Lorena, 302 North Frontage Road. Rewards and half-price drinks on the app. Sign up today.
Okay, we're now joined by Lorena head coach Kevin Johnson ahead of tonight's homecoming matchup with the Cameron Yeomen. Coach, a tough one last week, ran into a big offense in Franklin, but your offense as well seems to be playing really well, and you maybe just came up a couple of possessions short in that game.
Yeah, I mean, you could go back and it was almost like week one with Regents. We would, at one point we were ahead in the game, and then, it was tit for tat as far as scoring, and you never want to get in that situation. You don't want to have to be a score fest. We need to get a couple of stops, and then the next thing you know, offense goes down there and boom, we score real fast, close the gap, and then we turn around defensively and we give up a big one. And then at some point they just were able to stay ahead of us and outpace us, which hurt us. Offense did really, really well. The good thing about offense right now is we've been healthy. We've not had, knock on wood, we've not had any really, injuries on the offensive side that have taken us out. So that leads to being able to be more cohesive and gel and do all that. Conversely, on the defensive side, we're really, really banged up, and we don't have any size up front right now. And when you play a team like Franklin, you better be able. I mean, they're big up front. What they do well, and it's hard to defend. And you really have to match physicality with physicality in order to be able to shut that down and get some stops. And there was a point there a couple of times I thought we were going to, and then all of a sudden, man, they'd rip one on us, and then we just couldn't catch up.
Yeah, and but to your point about the offense, we've really seen, and really we saw Friday night, Brody DeLeon kind of take that next step forward, running the ball well, and it seems that the Jackson Blancett's also seeing the field real well. I think second week in a row he's hit 7 or 8 different receivers. Obviously all of that has to happen behind a really good offensive line. So just kind of talk about how how that offense has kind of come together and gelled so quickly to start this year.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you said that. I believe I said that to somebody last week in the standpoint that I'm really, really pleased with where our offensive line is right now. I mean, you're looking at a lot of guys. I think there's one guy that returned last year really with significant playing time or whatever. So you never know early in the year how quickly those guys are going to pick things up, but they're doing a great job. And then, kudos to our offensive staff and, in the standpoint of, we prep, and part of our game plan offensively is to try to get the ball out quick, move it around the field. Jackson's doing a really good job of seeing that. We've got a lot, we have got a lot of kids involved. I would tell you, like from the receiving core, I'm really pleased that a lot of our kids are playing with some confidence they didn't have last year. We're making some catches. that we didn't make last year, quite honestly. And that's helping us out. And quite a few kids, we're able to roll some kids in and keep them fresh. And Jackson's doing a good job of, for the most part, seeing where we need to go with it and where we tag things. He's able to find the receiver and get it there. And, up front, our guys are doing a good job, and they've given Brody has really, really good vision. He's not a kid that's necessarily going to have blazing speed that's just going to leave you. I mean, he had some big runs the other night, which was great, but he has really good vision. He's patient, and he can kind of find a little seam, and he just kind of hits that seam and goes. And then the other thing Brody does for us is he does a good job receiving out of the backfield, like catching the ball. He's good with his hands. So, all that combined is really allowing us to kind of sink. And but it starts up front. It does. Jackson's doing a really good job for us. He can get us out of trouble with his feet. But again, part of that is our line's giving him some time to be able to check down on some routes. And then, occasionally he's having to kind of scramble. And when he does, he's quick enough that he can get out and make some things happen. But for the most part, he's got time to throw. And we're giving Brody, some running lanes. So I'm really proud of those guys.
Good way. I certainly can see, even though maybe not the record you want in the wins and losses, but certainly the offense is coming along. So that's good to see. Well, I tell you what, it is homecoming this week, which is always an exciting time. Welcoming in the Cameron Yeoman. We'll talk about that matchup next when we come back. It's the pregame interview with Lorena head coach Kevin Johnson. Okay, we're back with Leopards head coach Kevin Johnson. Coach, it's homecoming week, always a special time, and you're welcoming in a familiar foe to Lorena and all the fans and the players in the Cameron Yeoman. Kind of talk about and tell us what you see from that ball club.
Well, I mean, honestly, if you look at Cameron thus far, I think it's a team. I want to say they're still fairly young, but I think it's a team trying to find some identity. They've struggled a little bit so thus far this season. Again, you watch them and you're trying to figure out, okay, exactly what are they trying to – I think they're trying to figure out, who's the go-to guy, who can get them through this, what's the best, defensively. They're struggling a little bit on defense from that standpoint. And again, I don't know. I don't know if, they could be banged up a little bit. It could be just some youth. I don't know. I just been there and done that before. And I just think they're trying to figure out what they do, but their kids play hard and they've always got athletes. And again, they've got one or two kids now. If they ever stick their foot in the ground and cut it up the field and got a seam, well, then you may be chasing. So we've got to do a good job on the defensive standpoint of just kind of keeping them corralled inside. They like to try to sprint the ball out, sprint out a little bit and drive pass game. So we can kind of pressure that a little bit. That'll help us a little bit. I think for us offensively, with the way we're playing right now, really it's just a matter of we know what we're going to see from them. It's consistent from what they did last year. We just have to go in and execute, do what we know what we're going to see. We know what we need to run versus what they're going to show us, and we just need to go execute on that standpoint. And then I think we'll be fine.
Good. So as we move into week 4 of the season, obviously you're getting ready, after a bye week, one more non-district game, and then you move into a really tough district schedule. Kind of talk about how this team, what you've seen from a maturity standpoint. Obviously, they're going to have to find a way to close out ball games if we get into some close district games later on in the year. And just kind of talk about what you're seeing maturity-wise from this club and what you want to see going forward.
Well, I think it's been a huge difference from last year in the standpoint that I do feel like we've matured quite a bit. I still challenge a little bit. Honestly, I'm just going to challenge them a little bit on toughness. I tell them all the time, tough people win. That's not always just the physicality. A lot of that's just being mentally tough enough to bounce back. It's kind of like a couple of those games we had. Well, actually, all 3 of our games, if you look at them, we've had to find a way, whether we've given some up or had to get a stop somewhere, or, part of it is playing the next play. Just go play the next play. You can't worry about what happened. Be tough enough to go there and win the next play. And you make enough little wins as you go along, those will add up. And part of that, I think, is still some maturity we need to see. It's real easy, like the other night against Franklin, like you're out there like, oh my God, like this just happened again or whatever. Well, you just got to get up and, you got to dust yourself off and play the next play and hopefully something will happen. And honestly, we were still where I thought we were different last year. We probably would have hung it up a lot earlier. I didn't see us hanging up at all, even like the other night. I mean, down to where we were having to use our timeouts. If we legitimately get a stop and we score as quickly as we've been scoring, we still got an opportunity in that game. And I think for the most part, our kids really, I think they really bowed their neck and tried to do that. I mean, we're depleted a little bit on the defensive side. And, I think that gets frustrating. Again, that goes back into mental toughness. Next man up, who's going to come out and play and get it done? I mean, we don't have the portal and we don't have the draft. So we have our kids. We love our kids. I'm proud of our kids, and we just want them to play hard. And as we've gained a lot of maturity. We've handled some situations really well. I feel like part of that is being a really good team is you're just mentally tough enough to find a way to get it done and not have a few little mental breakdowns. And that is honestly, if you look at the first game and the third game, really a couple of those things that kind of ripped us where we didn't get stops were just mental breakdowns. They were, and some of that was youth. Again, I would just tell you defensively, like I think what we have, maybe we've got 3 people on the field that played last year, and a couple of those are sophomores. So there's still a lot there to go. We got to figure out a way to get it done. And that's what we're working. And to your point, I just feel like they embrace that and they're trying to do that. They just it hadn't just completely clicked yet. So we're still making strides and we just want to continue to get better week to week.
All right. Well, certainly an opportunity to do that tonight. I guess one final question. So obviously it being homecoming, I think I would love to know, were you the homecoming king your senior year at your high school? I've got to think you probably were.
Absolutely not. No, I was not into, not into all of that per se. I can say I was not the homecoming king.
Oh, well, but obviously a good opportunity tonight for the alumni to come back and see the program and have a good time at Leopard Field, right?
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, it's like I tell our kids, and homecoming's a fun time. It's part of the high school experience. I love that we do the parade. We're old fashioned. We do the parade like we did on Wednesday. And then I love that you do the senior kinder walk. Those are some cool things. Those are things that your kids got to embrace. But now that we get into game day and Friday, the rest of homecoming is for everybody else. The game's for us. I'm not going to worry about who gets crowned what or whatever. I wish them all the best. I love our homecoming. They're great kids, on that. But bottom line is our job is to go out there and do what we're supposed to do and take care of our business. And then on top of that, we do that, then it makes the whole event better, obviously. But that's our main focus.
Good. Well, best of luck tonight against the Yeoman, and we look forward to talking to you after a win.
All right. Thanks, Jared.
All right. That is Lorena head coach Kevin Johnson. When we come back, we'll have our keys to the game and kickoff. It is the Aquanauts Custom Pool and Spa pregame show. You're watching Lorena Leopard football, powered by Rogue Media.
What do I love about Yellow Rose? What I love about Yellow Rose is the connections, is getting to meet people and bring joy into their life, take their most important asset and make it more beautiful.
You'll find companies out there that are willing to sell you what you want to hear, but they won't stand behind what they sell you. And Yellow Rose Painting will stand behind that.
Epperson Tractors invites you to save big on their full lineup of new DYM tractors. Whether you're a weekend warrior or a full-time rancher, we offer tractors ranging from 25 to 75 horsepower. Why choose Epperson? They're proud to be the 2024 TYM Dealership of the Year. Come meet their expert team of tractor pros who can help you find the horsepower you need with a deal you'll love. Epperson Tractor Sales and Service, where service is in our name.
That is our national anthem. Again, Jared Brown, Billy Rutherford here in the booth alongside our producer, Josh Beard, engineer Justin Peebles doing the Lord's work. Zach Beard up on top bringing you the sights. It is the Syntex Pawn and BAM Builders broadcast of Lorena Leopard football. Also want to say a special thanks to Epperson Tractor and Yellow Rose Painting for their support of Lorena Leopard football. Billy, let's get to our keys of the game.
Well, key number one is AC/DC, my friend. Blancett alternates amongst his receivers, so that's alternate current, right?
Yep.
We talked about him spreading the ball around and finding these electric playmakers, right? Explosive plays. That offensive line keeps him grounded. The second point on that one would be DeLeon runs directly at you, so there's your DC, right? So you have you have both there. You have, like, I guess, the thunder and the lightning, I guess, both there.
Definitely. Kind of look at the second key I wanted to talk about, like very much a journey. This defense has kind of they've been banged up. They knew it was going to kind of be a point this year. They're going to have to play well. I think they've got to focus on the journey, not necessarily the destination. We may see a lot more man coverage tonight. Again, you may have guys that are running man-to-man coverage. They got to turn their back and just really depend on the rest of that team and just trust and just that they can get their job done faithfully.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I think that you also what you cannot do as the Leopard defenders, you can't stop believing, right? So definitely don't stop believing out there. Play with heart, play with aggressiveness, and good things will happen.
Yep. Take us through this last one, Billy.
The last one is KISS, right? Keep it simple, silly. Some people use the stupid for the last S, but keep it simple, sweetheart. Let the O-line cook, man. That group is coming together. You got Trigger Niemeyer. You're going to have him for 4 quarters tonight. He doesn't have to sit out a half. So let those guys guide you to the promised land, right? I mean, and if you do that, you can rock and roll all the day.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is on the defensive side, letting those linebackers do their thing. We saw them having to kind of play up last week. Let Adrian Medina, let Parker Bottoms. We're also going to see Case and Conlon up in that linebacker spot. Let them do what they do really well, and that's be athletic and make athletic plays all over the field. Going to be necessary tonight.
Yeah, and I think tonight is an opportunity for them to play downhill and aggressive. Like last week against Franklin, they really forced you to read and react. Tonight's a night where they can peel their ears back a little bit and take out a little bit of that aggression. So I'm interested to see the intensity and the speed they play early in the game, because this should be a fun one.
Well, Leopards are going to get the ball first. Caesar Nahara has it on the tee for the Yeoman, and we are about ready to get underway. Toe meets leather. It's going to be a squib kick up the middle of the field. It'll be taken by, I believe that is Hunter Black, right at the 20-yard line. He'll have it out across the 35, down at about the 37, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Leopards. Billy, there is a Leopard down on the far side of the field. Not what you want to see to start this ball game.
Yeah, not at all. And I will say about Black on the return, really nice return. I like how that youngster runs the football. I watched him during a couple camp practices. I really like his tool set. He's a nice compliment to Brody DeLeon. But as we look to see the Leopard down on the field here,
I believe it is Gage McCabe, number 19. Lorena head trainer Isaac Diaz out to take a look along with Leopards head coach Kevin Johnson. And it looked like he may have just taken maybe a helmet to the shin. Not quite sure. But again, Cameron coming out with the white jerseys, white pants, white helmets, maroon lettering and numerals. Leopards thought they might come back in black, Billy, but they decided to go with the white helmets, the red jerseys, and the red pants. A sharp look. I'm still a big fan of the black helmets, but I like to see them going to the throwbacks every now and then.
Yeah, absolutely. At the we would call it that traditional leopard paw that the Leopards sported during my tenure here. I do like the black helmet, though. I think it really pops with the red uni. And maybe at some point this season we'll see those black pants that you have to earn once you make the playoffs.
So McCabe limps off. Now Blancett will command his offense out on the field. 3 wide receivers, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Brody DeLeon now will motion out to the left. Now we see Espinosa go in motion. Blancett going to keep it through the left side, breaks a tackle across the 40, 45, 50. He'll have a big Epperson Tractor first down. About a 15-yard run on first down for Jackson Blancett.
Yeah, and for everyone watching at home, like all that motion, all that eye candy you'll hear me say, that tells the Leopard staff a lot about what Cameron's in. Cameron was in a too-high safety look. That movement forced him out of it. Now you had a single high safety. He committed to the backside. Jackson was able to hit that backside power run. Really well designed there. Like that looks just like a QB run for a first down, but very well designed by the coaching staff.
So 1st and 10, Leopards with it in Cameron territory. Snap back to Blancett, looking to throw. He'll be chased out of the pocket. Little too hot for Zach Espinosa. Goes through his hands and falls incomplete.
Well, and there we saw Jared Cameron took a little bit of a wrinkle from Franklin last week. They slanted and actually gave a little misdirection to the Leopard offensive line and looped around that blind side from Blancett. So, Cameron obviously studied the film from last week, and that's something that we've seen early.
So it'll be 2nd and 10. Ball at the Cameron 49-yard line. Stacked receivers to the right. One receiver to the left. Snap back. Hand it off to DeLeon, running left behind that big offensive line. Huge hole. He's across the 40. He'll be really close to another Epperson Tractor first down. We'll have to see where they mark it. But a good hard run from Brody DeLeon behind that offensive line.
Yeah, we've seen Brody all year long. He's shown you a little bit. He's got every skill set in there. But man, a good downhill run on that left side of that Leopard offensive line. Super trustworthy. They have a lot of success. They like to run behind those guys.
It is enough for an Epperson Tractor first down. Similar formation where DeLeon's going to motion out to the left. Now we see Espinosa come in motion. Snap back, quick pass out to, that is Carson Miller. He'll have it across the 40. Pickup of a couple on first down.
Yeah, real quick pass there to the short side of the field. Cameron did a good job defeating the blocks at the point of attack, but essentially that's an extension of the running game, right? That is a quick, that's going to go in the books as a pass, but that's no different than a running play, just kind of probing them laterally, stretching the defense so you can hit them back inside.
2nd down, call it 8 from the 38-yard line. Snap back. Again, quick pass out to Carson Miller. He is going to be wrapped up there. That is number 4, Edgar Velasquez. Well, not quite. Miller's going to fight through it. He'll dive forward and have enough for another Epperson Tractor first down.
Jared, initially I was getting ready to speak to Cameron Sure tackling on that play because that was a really nice open field wrap-up, but Carson Miller just decided, I'm not going to be stopped. I'm going to go ahead and pick up this first down. What a year that young man's having already.
28 catches through the first 3 ball games. Snap back. DeLeon running right behind a big hole. Sloan Blackwell opens it up. DeLeon makes a man miss. He'll be pushed out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for the Leopards, but there is a flag down.
Yeah, flag on the play. I did like at the end, Brody, most running backs you'll see they were kind of just scamper out of bounds, but he lowered his shoulder and delivered a blow. Joe Plack, player of the award last week, has had a great year as well.
They are going to say holding against the Leopards. Now we know why the hole was so big for DeLeon, so it'll come back. See where they spot the ball. 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
And you see right now Cameron's giving a lot of respect to the Lorena downfield passing game. They're taking away the deep parts of the field by alignment. Now here in this set, they're not. They're actually playing off to the field side. They've got a couple guys in the box here, so it'll be interesting to see if this is a man look or a zone.
First down at about 14. Blancett looking. He's got a man over the middle, double coverage. It's Zach Espinosa, ball too tall anyway. So it'll fall incomplete and bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, no, that's an RPO. That's a run-pass option. Jackson reads the numbers in the box. He made the perfect read there, but Cameron just had that covered. And, sometimes when you see the RPO game, it can look kind of like, well, he threw in a double coverage there. What's he looking at? But that's his read, and the ball is just a little high on that read because he had guys in his face.
So 2nd down, call it about 14. 9:37 to go. Hand off to DeLeon, running left. Big hole, going to cut up. 15. He'll be down. He'll have enough for the first down, but a flag comes in late. Have to see what the call is.
But Jared, we talked about it all year long. Brody DeLeon just looks like he's got an extra gear this year. I spoke to him post-game about it last week. He just has a burst to him that previously we hadn't seen, so we're seeing that play out, but it looks like another hold on the Leopards outside there, probably on Carson Miller because that's kind of where the flag was thrown where the receiver is.
When it was a late call, he may have just kind of held on to that block a little too long and didn't let him go after DeLeon was past him. So, Again, 10 yards from the spot of the foul, so Leopards only lose about 2 yards of field position, but call it 2nd down and 16. Ball all the way back at the 32-yard line. Snap back, handoff to DeLeon. Avoids first contact, runs into his own man, smacks right into the back of Zach Espinosa. Some hard hitting going on. He'll pick up about 4, but it'll bring up about a 3rd and 12.
Yeah, and you're seeing Coach Babineau from Cameron's kind of like his ideology playing out right now, like his traits that he wants. Like Cameron right now is flying to the ball, and they're lowering the boom right now. And, you know, Lorena has obviously had a couple holding calls there that brought him back. But, like, you see Cameron's a very physical team. This is how they want to play. They want to make you pay for every yard you get.
3rd down call at 11. Snap back to Blancett, looking to throw. He's got a man over the middle. He had Espinosa open just a little bit too tall. It'll fall incomplete, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, and that time the Cameron pass rush on the edges affected Blancett in the pocket there a little bit. You know, a clean pocket there. You know, Jackson probably puts that ball right on the money. But, you know, nice job by Cameron of kind of getting upfield. You want to see Lorena maybe get a little bit more lateral in their kickbacks at the tackle position to kind of widen that pocket. But setting up a big 4th down early in this one, Jared.
I'm kind of surprised they're not going to try to kick a field goal here. It'll be a 45-yard attempt. But Blancett brings the team out, and we're going to have a timeout. Cameron is going to take it. Billy, we'll keep it right here. So far this first drive, Leopards trying to use a balance, like you mentioned in the pregame, a balance of the run and the pass. We also saw Jackson Blancett keep it on the first play of the game. Not something we've seen a lot of designed runs for him, but certainly something that they need to work into this offense to kind of take the eyes off of Brody DeLeon.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, too, like, you know, the way Cameron's coming upfield with their pass rush, too, I think that, you know, we've seen the Leopards this year run that little slip screen just on the other side of the defensive line, basically, where they displace when they come upfield. And I think, you know, obviously, right, probably what Coach Babineau is telling them, like, hey, watch out for the screen. But this is that part of the field when those defensive linemen are really have their ears pinned back. You can hit them with, like, that draw play we've seen before. I always call it 30 draw. That's what it was called whenever we played here. But this is one of those areas where you can use one of those plays to use their aggressiveness against them. You generally don't want to do it on 4th down just in case they sniff it out. But, you know, you could look for maybe something here. But the Leopards definitely have to find a solution to give Jackson a cleaner pocket because Cameron right now is able to collapse it.
3 receivers to the left. 4th down, snap back to Blancett. He'll step up into that pocket. A lot of room to run on the left side. He's going to wait, he's going to throw. He's got a man in the corner. That is Sloan Blackwell, who beats his man. He jumps up and makes the catch. Touchdown, Lorena Leopards. Touchdown, Sloan Blackwell on the 32-yard pass from Jackson Blancett.
Love it, love it, love it. For, you know, the protection initially broke down, but Jackson was able to step into that pocket, buy some time, expend the play, and he threw a dime over there. Ball was in the air, a little long for my taste, but the ball was right on the money. And what are the ball skills that Sloan Blackwell displays there at the tight end position to come back to the football, high-pointed. The Cameron defender had zero chance at that ball, and a big-time 4th down play for the Leopards, scoring on their opening drive.
Again, a 32-yard pass reception. Connor Johnson on to attempt the extra point. It's up and good, and with 8:17 left to go, the Leopards take the early lead 7-0. We'll take a break and come right back. It's the Syntex Pond broadcast of Lorena Leopard football. Welcome back in. A 9-play drive. Brody DeLeon gets 29 yards on the ground. Blancett 14 through the ground. The last coming on a 28-yard touchdown reception from Sloan Blackwell from Jackson Blancett. And the Leopards take the early 7-0 lead. Billy, like I said, just a good solid drive, and the Leopards coming up with a big play on 4th down.
Yeah, you spoke to it earlier in the drive. Is balance, right? Balance, and you know, kind of take what the defense gives you. But, man, what a weapon is it to have a quarterback, first of all, that can buy time like that and make that type of throw, and then a tight end who plays more like a wide receiver and a big body to go up and high point the ball and just take it away from the defender. The defender had no chance, like almost like a basketball post-up. It's a great tool to have.
Connor Johnson with the ball on the tee. He'll kick the pooch kick down the right side. It is going to be caught. That is number 3, DeAllen Wilcox. Tries to return it back. He'll pick up a couple. He'll dive across the 30, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Yeoman.
Yeah, Jared, initially there was a little bit of a bobble on that catch, and that's, if you ever wonder at home, like, why do we pooch it or why does Lorena pooch it so much? That's a difficult ball to catch, right? And what you want to see from the return guy there is a fair catch signal, right, and to secure the catch. Ball kind of bounced on him, and when you catch that ball with your shoulder pads, right, it can bounce and do some kind of squirrely things. So it looked like a routine play there, but that's something later in the game, right, could come up and could get an easy turnover.
Jacoby Scott is the quarterback for the Yeoman. The junior taking over after Cade Hubnick graduated. He'll try to get the ball into the hands of Travion Miles pretty soon. Cameron kind of coming out in a power eye look. It'll be a toss back. Pickup of about 4 on 1st down. That is number 2, and I believe that is DeMarcus Lopez Finchback for Cameron.
And what you saw there, Jared, is that is Franklin's play that they ran. Franklin ran so well against Lorena last week. Coach Babina going straight to it, first play of the game, right? He saw it on film all week. Lorena struggled to stop it, and he comes right out in it.
So 2nd down and call it a long 7. Scott in the backfield. He's got Lopez Finchback now to one side. He'll hand it off. Finchback through the middle across the 30, 40-yard line. He'll have enough for a 1st down across the 45. Tackled at the 46 and a big 1st down for Cameron.
Yeah, and we're seeing Brody DeLeon play free safety for the Leopards too. It's the first time this season that we've seen him play both ways. So, definitely some adjustments being made from the Leopards. A little banged up on the defense side of the ball as we spoke to pregame. But, again, Cameron comes right out on the ground, right? And that's what this Lorena defense is probably going to see a lot of until they prove that they can stop that interior running game.
Got Branson Akazi with the right end, Ty Hatton at the nose, Chase Rohde back at the other defensive end. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Yeoman. 3 receivers to the right. Now a man in motion. Scott takes it. It's a quick throw out to Lopez Finchback. Titus Jesperson comes up, tries to make the tackle, is able to kind of push Finchback out of bounds, but not before he picks up about 3 on 1st down.
Yeah, really nice job by Jesperson there. You like to see him wrap up a little bit more there at the point of attack, but he got there in a hurry. That young man's really twitchy, and that just means he's really quick. But also, I've heard about his track accolades. He's got top end speed too, so he's an exciting young player here for the Leopards, getting his first start.
So 2nd down and about 7, ball right at midfield. Late substitution for Cameron. Edgar Velasquez comes on at wide receiver. Snap back to Scott, hands it to Finchback right up the gut, across midfield, over the 40-yard line. He's finally dragged down by Brody DeLeon, but not before he's got another Yeoman 1st down into Leopard territory.
Yeah, Jared, what you see there is still a team learning a new scheme. Right there, actually, Coach DeLeon had the perfect defense called against that play. He actually blitzed the inside linebacker to that play side gap. The timing was just a little bit off. It would have been a perfect run fit. Linebacker got there early. He gets picked up. The running back bounces outside right into the hole. So you can see the design, right? You can see it. It's going to take a while for these kids to really get in sync with it.
Now Scott's going to take it. He's going to keep it himself, try to push it outside. Kason Conlon out there wraps him up and is just going to ride him out of bounds. Good job by Conlon to meet Scott at the point of attack and then not try to do too much and then just force him out of bounds.
Really like Conlon. I like his tool set at his position. Like, he runs like a free safety, but he's got the physicality of a linebacker. He's in a spot out there where he covers a lot of ground. And to be honest with you, he's got a tough job because not only does he have to set the edge, he's got to cover as well. So he's reading and reacting, but I love his athleticism, and he's got a super high football IQ as well.
Loss of 2. Has it back at the 37-yard line, 2nd and 12 for the Yeoman. Snap back to Scott, looking over the middle. Pass a little bit behind. That is Angel Castillo. He can't reach around and make the catch, so it falls incomplete.
Yeah, a little bit too much mustard on that hot dog, Jared. I think if he'd taken a little bit more time and thrown the ball just in front of him, that was going to be an easy pitch and catch. But that's a tough thing for young quarterbacks, like knowing when to throw the touch ball, knowing when to throw the four-seam fastball. But set up a big 3rd down here early as the Leopard crowd gets up, starts to make some noise.
3rd down and 12. The Lorena 37-yard line. Snap back to Scott. Looking as he's going to hit his man out in the flat, and he's going to be a big hit. That is Preston Powell coming up to make the solid hit on Jax Aguirre. He's going to drive him back for a big loss.
Yeah, we saw Powell last week flash on the screen against Franklin. Again, it's talk about tool set. Like I like the athleticism of a lot of these Lorena defenders. I think that once the scheme clicks and they kind of get used to it, like we're in game 4 of the new scheme, it takes a while to set a little bit. It's got to cure. But I like what I'm seeing out there from really athletic players. And early on, Jared, adding Brody to the secondary and moving Jesperson out to corner, they seem to be matching up well against the skill players for Cameron so far.
The big loss of about 6 on 3rd down is going to put Cameron into a punt situation. Jacoby Scott is the punter for the Yeoman, so I'm sure he can take off and run with it, but he'll put his right foot into it. Leopards with 2 men back. Hudson Hill is going to watch it bounce over his head. It will go into the end zone for a touchback. Leopards will have it 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Billy, let's keep it right here and kind of talk about that defense. We mentioned their ability and their need to tackle in space. Well, we saw that twice in a row with Conlon and Powell, both sophomores, by the way, getting their first, coming up to play Friday nights this year, doing really well so far.
Yeah, the reason that you go to a 3-man front with 4 linebackers is to put more speed on the field, right? You want that athleticism on the field. You do compromise some size inside, which does allow you to be kind of exposed inside if you don't play your gap correct. But this Leopard defense, I think, took it personal last week that Franklin had their way with the perimeter runs, and we're seeing early these red jerseys are flying around. And they're a step or two quicker than we've seen them this year. So playing some inspired football early, a big stop early already.
So 1st and 10 for the Leopards. Their own 20-yard line. Handoff to Brody DeLeon. Cuts back across the middle. Ball pops out. There's a scramble for it. I think DeLeon and Zach Espinosa dive on top of it. And Leopards will have it. It'll be 1st and 10 at their own 40. But it looked like maybe DeLeon was transitioning the ball, transferring it from his right arm to his left arm, and it just kind of squirted out.
I think he saw a touchdown when he made that cut. I think he knew he had one guy to beat. I think the guy got a paw in there possibly. But nice job of covering the ball up and, preventing the turnover here early.
So a big Epperson tractor 1st down. Leopards moving the ball. Hand off to DeLeon right up the gut. Big hole. He'll be stood up right at midfield and pushed back. We'll have to see if they mark his forward progress. It is going to be another Epperson tractor 1st down.
And I can tell you, if I'm a Cameron defender and I'm in the secondary and I see 71 Trigger Niemeyer coming up on that second level, that can't be a very good spot to be in emotionally. And I love seeing him 8-10 yards downfield leading the way on these big runs.
1st and 10 right at midfield. 3:36 and counting here in the first quarter. Lorena leading 7-0. Snap back to Blancett. No, he's going to fake it. He's got a man open. That is Kyle Coates makes the catch. He'll be wrapped up. That is number 17, Kenneth Montgomery on the tackle, but a solid catch from Kyle Coates and a pickup of about 5 yards.
Yeah, really nice read there by Blancett too. He saw that route was going to be there. A perfect route by Coates there, and he did the right thing when he caught the ball. You spin to the outside because the coverage is coming from the inside out. Really nice pickup on 1st down, and that's a weapon. If Lorena can consistently execute that play, it makes him even tougher to defend now.
2nd down, we'll call it 6 again a 4 on 1st down. So 2nd and 6. Espinosa goes in motion. Snap back to DeLeon, to Blancett. Hands off to DeLeon into the secondary. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5 into the end zone. Touchdown, Lorena Leopards. Touchdown, Brody DeLeon.
So on a play that we saw Brody DeLeon take it to the house untouched, right? Everyone's got to do their jobs. But the thing, Jared, that I'm probably the most impressed with was Jackson Blancett's play fake. Because as he handed the ball off, he actually went a zone read look like he kept it. And both inside linebackers, their eyes stuck with him. And as soon as Brody got a step, he was gone. That is well coached, and that is well disciplined by Jackson Blancett. It won't go down in the stat column. It's just a handoff. But that's an impressive play from a young quarterback.
We will get our statisticians expert, Rick Jesperson, to make that footnote, Billy. Connor Johnson on to attempt the extra point. It is up and good with 2:41 left to go. Leopards double their lead, now up 14-0 over Cameron. We'll take a commercial break and come right back. It's the BAM Builders broadcast of Lorena Leopard football.
Tough Shed is #1 for a reason. We started building sheds in 1981. Most of them are still standing. That's because our sheds are made to last right here in the USA. customize yours to get exactly what you want. Then, we deliver and install for you. With finance and payment options, you might be surprised at how affordable a Tough Shed is. Design your dream shed or garage at toughshed.com and visit our Waco showroom located at 7705 Woodway Drive near Santa Fe Drive. Dream, design, deliver, install. Tough Shed.
2:41 left to go here in the first quarter. Leopards giving their homecoming crowd a sight, now up 14-0. The last points coming on a 46-yard touchdown run from Brody DeLeon. DeLeon now 7 carries, 105 yards, and a touchdown.
That's incredible. Then that offensive line. You talked about it early in the broadcast, Jared. Lean on those guys, right? And right now they're cooking. That whole group gets better every week. And anytime you have a running back run untouched to the end zone, all 11 guys did their job. Hats off to all those young men. And Cameron's definitely got some adjustments to make because right now Lorena's in perfect sync.
So Connor Johnson with it on the tee. Toe meets leather. Another pooch kick down the right side. This time it will be a fair catch by De'Allen Wilcox. He'll make it at about, see where they mark him, at about the 30-yard line on the nose. And the Yeoman will have it 1st and 10.
I think, Jared, this crowd's probably just a little shocked because every game we've had this year has been basically track meets, right? They've been back and forth, both, prolific offenses, and the Leopard defense has held serve already once in this game, the Leopard offense scoring twice. So I would love to see this crowd get loud and rowdy here as the Leopards are on defense, make some noise, and really encourage that group because, this group is the key to the season, right? We know the offense can score. If this group can continue to develop like I think they're going to, this team could make a run.
So Jacoby Scott looks to take the snap, but several players on the Cameron offensive line and backfield kind of jump early. Flags down. It'll be a false start. Back them up 5, and we'll do it again.
Yeah, that was one of those ones that's unless it was the call was the annexation of Puerto Rico from Little Giants fame. That one that Coach Babineau is not going to be happy about when you got about 4 guys all jumping.
So 1st and 15 now. Snap back, handoff to Lopez Finchback, and in slashing through, that is Parker Bottoms from his middle linebacker spot, coming through to make a big loss or big stop for no gain on 1st down.
Yeah, and Finchback's a big physical running back. He's got big, strong legs. I watched him in pregame. He's an explosive athlete, and Parker comes downhill and just wraps him up. So you're seeing some inspired football from that second level, that Leopard defense that we haven't necessarily seen this season yet.
So 2nd down and 15. This time the ball's going to get away from Scott. Big hit. It's going to be picked up by Parker Bottoms. He's going to take it into the end zone for the touchdown. Touchdown, Lorena Leopards. Touchdown, Parker Bottoms.
Yes, and the football universe rewards you for the previous play, Mr. Bottoms. He's been a great leader on this team all year. He held on the game-winning field goal against Malakoff, and he gets the scoop and score there. I don't think any of the Cameron players knew the ball was on the turf, and you had about 6 Lorena players all there standing in line to see who was going to get the scoop and score. I love that Bottoms got it. Bottoms has played his heart out all year long, been a great leader on this team, and those are fun, Jared. When you scoop and score, can score with your teammates like that, and a big play early in this game, right? We talked about homecoming, the Leopards needing something good to happen on home field. We've got a good start.
Well, the big hit after Scott couldn't handle the snap, Preston Powell comes up, makes the big hit that allowed Bottoms to scoop it and score it. Connor Johnson on with the extra point, and with 1:25 still to go in the first quarter, your new score, Lorena 21, Cameron nothing. We'll take a break and come back. It's Lorena Leopard football powered by Rogue Media.
For more than 70 years, Community Bank and Trust has established a strong legacy of care and trust. Time and technology have changed. Checking and savings accounts haven't gone away. We still provide home loans, business loans, and personal loans. And we also offer state-of-the-art digital banking options. In a world where banking can feel impersonal, we still believe in one-on-one personal care. Community Bank and Trust, a legacy of dependability.
Member FDIC.
He's a big kid, big and strong kid.
Physical, yeah, he moves well.
Welcome back in. Billy, we're talking about Preston Powell, a sophomore kind of linebacker defensive end hybrid. He came up and made the big hit on Jacoby Scott that allowed Parker Bottoms to pick up that fumble and take it to the house. Leopards now up 21-0.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy this Powell. I enjoy covering this Powell kid. I'm really excited about his potential future. He's sudden. He's very bursty. He's quick. We've seen his top end speed last week when he ran down a touchdown. And he always seems to be in the right spot at the right time, right? And some of those players that are just kind of that have that it factor always just seem to find themselves in that spot. Really encouraging. This is a super talented sophomore class for Lorena. I know the coaching staff is excited about him as well.
So Connor Johnson with it on the tee once again. Now the pooch kick down the right side. It'll be caught by that is Wilcox. He's going to try to run it this time. Across the 30, 35, 40 with some room to run. Luke Lavender trying to run him down and will eventually shove him out of bounds to save the touchdown. But kind of a heads-up play there as the ball was a little bit more to the middle of the field, gave Wilcox some room to run, and he made the most of it.
Yeah, and the first thing you hear first day of practice when you do kickoff team is stay in your lane, right? Everyone on the kickoff team has a lane they're supposed to run down, and if the ball carrier comes to your lane, you tackle them. When you pooch it like that, your lane integrity can break down, and what you saw there is that happening for a big game there.
So Cameron will have it 1st and 10 in Lorena territory. Ball spotted at the Leopard 42-yard line. 1:05 left to go here in the first quarter. Leopards up big already. Jacoby Scott out at quarterback for the Yeoman. 2 receivers to the right. Snap back. Scott's going to take it himself around the right side. Makes one man miss, but not two. He's wrapped up there by a couple of Leopards. Trey Frosch out there, and also Kit Seeley coming up to make the tackle.
Yeah, when you got a quarterback that can run in the running game, not just scramble and make plays, but actually use as a runner. You heard me say a lot this year, but it gives you an extra helmet to block, right? Because you have a lead block as a running back. Now you've got the defense outnumbered, right? So that's a play that I would expect them to come back to because it had a really well designed.
So second down, call it 6. Snap back, pass over the middle. It is deflected. That's Hudson Hill getting a hand on it, knocking it down. Good play by the junior to knock it down. Falls incomplete, 3rd down.
Yeah, it looked like he popped into a little robber technique there where he reads the quarterback eyes. It's similar to like a spy closer to the line of scrimmage, but what he's just reading the eyes. A perfect call against an RPO because that's a run-pass option. Quarterback never saw him there, and a really nice play to break up that pass because the receiver was open initially.
So 3rd down and about 6 for the Yeoman. Ball at the Lorena 38-yard line. Snap back. Going to be a little swing pass out into the flat. One man misses. Now Adrian Medina will drag the defender or drag his man out of bounds. That is number 9, Brody Aguirre. He'll pick up about 3, but he'll still be about 2 yards short of a 1st down.
Yeah, really nice job there from Medina in his inside linebacker spot. Had to run about 25 yards to get out there to make that stop, setting up this 4th down. So nice hustle play from 7 there.
Well, that's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter. Billy, we're in a shootout, but Leopard defense holding strong so far. Lorena up 21-0. We'll take a break and come right back. You're watching Lorena Leopard football powered by Rogue Media.
Here to help you with all your cash flow needs. Bring in all items of value for quick, hassle-free loans or sell them at a fair value and receive the best customer service in Central Texas. From Rolexes to firearms, our experienced staff is here to help when you need cash with compassion and understanding. Check out our Google reviews and come see for yourself. We are proud supporters of Lorena Leopard football. Syntex Pond. We are not in the loan or merchandise business. We are in the people business. Come check us out. Syntex.
Welcome back in. It's 4th down as the teams switch ends. Cameron going to go for it. And we're going to have a flag. It looks like maybe one of the linemen or a receiver on that far side flinched, flag down. Initial indication was illegal procedure against the Yeoman. Now the officials are going to talk about it. Referee taking his time, and it's going to be a delay of game against the Leopards. So that's going to be a 5-yard penalty, which will give the Yeoman a 1st down on 4th down. Billy, a lot of times you see a delay of game called on the defense if they're trying to mimic the snap count.
Yeah, and your coach actually, anytime there's movement or motion, to call it out, but that time the referee thought it sounded a little bit too much like the snap count, I believe.
So 1st and 10 for the Yeoman, ball at the Lorena 30-yard line. Handoff to Lopez, pinchback. He is hit right at the point of attack. Broke his initial tackle, but then a host of Leopards led by Medina. Also Mason Sears coming up and push him down for no gain.
Yeah, Parker Bottoms got in there clean at the beginning. Wasn't able to make the tackle as a solo tackle, but he slowed him up just enough for his teammates to get over there and make the play. And again, Jared, if you're a Leopard fan, you're seeing team defense, right? You're seeing multiple white hats to the ball. You're seeing, much more fundamental team defense.
2nd down and 10. Snap back is a little inside handoff to Lopez, pinchback. Not sure if he handed it off or kind of tossed it to him, but it was a lot of motion there in the backfield, but pinchback will have it for a gain of 8.
Yeah, sorry, Jared.
No.
That's similar to what Franklin did last week as well. So I think you're seeing, Coach Babineau kind of reaching that bag of tricks. Then it's an ingenious move, right? Like if you see the team previously struggle with a certain scheme or a certain look, you want to see if you'll get success with it as well.
So 3rd down, call it 2. Scott in the shotgun. Lopez pinchback to his right. Snap back. Scott going to keep it. He's around the right side. He'll have the 1st down. Shoved out of bounds. But he'll be across the 20-yard line where he'll have enough for the Yeoman 1st down.
Yeah, that time Conlon got a little sucked in. He got a little bit too narrow there on his gap responsibility, and it just allowed the quarterback to get outside of him there. He's going to watch that on film and probably, not be happy with himself because he would have had a wide open shot there. But it happens sometimes, right? That's the offense. Like you have to trust your eyes. They make you look other places. They make you test that assumption. So he'll look at that on film. He'll get it cleaned up.
1st and 10 for the Yeoman. Snap back to Scott, rolling to his left, looking to throw. He's got a man in the middle, and it is dropped. That is Edgar Velasquez. Looked like he hit him right in the hands, Billy, and maybe when he turned to run with it, it just slipped out, falls incomplete.
I think Hudson Hill got his arm in there, Jared, and was able to rip the ball out. Our angle was hard to see where the ball was, but I did see Hill's arm come through the same trajectory as the ball. Either way, that's a big stop on 1st down, right? Anytime you can get an offense that's, doesn't really want to throw the ball around the yard much behind the chains in 2nd and long or 3rd and long situation, it's a win for the defense.
So 2nd down at 10. Ball at the 16-yard line. Snap back. Scott has it. Now looking nowhere to go. Breaks a tackle. Now dancing and diving across the 10-5. Makes a couple guys miss. He's going to go into the end zone for a touchdown apparently, but a late flag comes out, thrown by the referee, and we'll have to see if this one's going to come back.
Yeah, Jared, that's about as late as I've ever seen. If this is a holding call, it may be a personal foul, though, judging by how late it was.
Well, the Yeoman offense is walking back, so it appears that this play is going to come back. We'll have to see where they spot the flag, as the officials already picked it up. Oh, it's personal fouls, hands to the face. They frown on that in high school football.
Well, that explains how late the flag was, definitely. But, obviously from a Cameron perspective, that's gut-wrenching, right? Because you're down three possessions early, pretty lively Lorena homecoming crowd. You're looking for success as well. You've had kind of a rough season as well. To take a touchdown off the board on something like that's tough. I'm interested to see how they respond as a unit. And then here, if the Lorena defense now, they've got like a reprieve if they can execute and get off the field.
Well, all the way back to the 30-yard line. Scott with it. He's going to go deep. He's got a man, and it is caught by Travion Miles. Now the officials are going to talk about it. They're going to determine, did he have possession? The ball was kind of being juggled. He says that he caught it, and they're going to say it is an incomplete pass. So the Leopards kind of dodged the proverbial bullet there, Billy, as Travion Miles had a step on his man and had the ball, just could not maintain possession before he went out of the back of the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, that ball was perfectly thrown, spun right, could have dropped it right in the bucket. But I do want to commend the officials. This year, we've had a lot of airtime talking about some questionable officiating. That time it looked like both officials were able to get together describe who saw what, and the guy that had the best view overruled the other official. So I good to see these guys work together, and maybe they're now in midseason form as well.
So third down at about 23. Back at the Leopard 30. Cameron imitates the snap count. Now they're going to look to the sideline. Now the whistle's going to blow, and I believe we're going to have another timeout. Billy, we'll keep it right here. Again, 10-14 left to go here in the first half. Leopards up 21-0. And I think it's important to see how they're going to respond here. I mean, Cameron's had some success. They've really had two opportunities to get in the end zone. Both of them just unfortunate, one a penalty and then the other kind of a dropped pass. But this defense has an opportunity to kind of, as Kevin Johnson likes to say, bow their neck and make a statement.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're 100% correct to use that word statement. That's the first thing that came to my mind. I mean, this is a group that has heard all the talking, right? All the talking through their first three games. Everyone's talking about how great the offense is, and duly, rightfully so. The offense has been prolific this year. But everyone, everyone run around town is like, man, that defense, everyone's, talking about it. So they hear that stuff too. They hear it at school. So this could be a statement type drive here where they hold Cameron off the board, and not to be overly dramatic about it, but the drives like this could be turning points for groups like this defense. Because again, this is a young, talented defense learning a new scheme. When it clicks, right? When it clicks, this is an athletic group. This may be the sequence that allows that to click, Jared.
So third down and 23. Ball at the Lorena 30-yard line. Snap back to Scott. He's going to roll to his left. He's got a man out there. That is Velasquez. He's going to be wrapped up by Kit Seeley, who will take him to the ground. He had help, but really good job there by Seeley in the open field. Kind of what we talked about, Billy. He made the tackle in space and just had to hold up long enough for his regiment to get there.
Yeah, I mean, Seeley's got he plays with really, really good feet, and what I mean by that is like his feet are never overextended. He always has a center of balance. He's always got his core where he's strong, and that's how he tackles. And if you look at him when he tackles, he wraps with his arms, but he brings his hips and his legs, and it works.
Fourth down and about 18. They're going to go for it. Scott launches it down. It's going to be intercepted. That is Hudson Hill going back up the sideline. He will run out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. So a big turnover for the Leopards, and then a late flag comes out as the teams are returning to their sidelines. Not sure if there was extracurricular activity or not, Billy, but the Leopards get that statement on defense.
Yeah, it looked like one of the Leopard defenders took an opportunity to lay a lick on the Cameron quarterback, and the head umpire threw about a 40-yard flag. I'm assuming he was a quarterback probably when he played, because that was an impressive chunk, but that's one of those plays that, like, it was a clean hit, but it was so far away from the football as the ball went out of bounds. And you like to see referees get control of a game early, right? So that's one of those things where he could have let it go, right? But that could have caused a little bit of a, chippiness to proceed. So, I don't love the flag because it was a clean hit, but it was a little late away from the football. And, if that's the referees are cognizant of a game getting chippy that may get out of hand, I'm here for it.
It looks like, I guess, the official call was that illegal blindside block, which gets really, really, it's hard to see from where he was, but went ahead and made the call. Player safety the most important. Leopards will have it 1st and 10, though. Ball at their own 12-yard line. Blancett back to pass. He'll avoid the rush, move his feet, throw it out over the middle. Ball falls incomplete. Kyle Coates had a man draped all over him. That was Kenneth Montgomery. Ball falls to the turf, incomplete.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough catch for Coates because, he's actually, the ball was a little underthrown. Blancett, the quarterback, had to move in the pocket again. The Cameron edge rushers are getting home. They're making Blancett step up in the pocket, which is changing his launch angle. But again, tough catch for Coates there on that one.
2nd 10, snap back, handoff to DeLeon running right. Hit hard. Pick up a 2. He gets past the first guy, but not the second. That looked like number 7, Jack Seguire, coming up to make the hit. So pickup of about 3, maybe 2 on 2nd down, bringing up 3rd and 8.
Yeah, really nice job there defensively from Cameron of running to the football, because we've seen Brody DeLeon is tough to bring down at all times. But I do want to highlight Sloan Blackwell blocked his man almost to the Cameron band section. Nice job by him letting up. They didn't get the flag, though, but impressive block by that young man.
3rd down and 8. Ball at the 15-yard line. 3 receivers to the left. 1 to the right for Blancett. Snap back. He'll step up into the pocket. Step into the throw. He's got a man a little too tall for Sloan Blackwell. Blackwell kind of stopped. Looked like he tried to go up and get it, but just too tall, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, and again, we see the pressure from Cameron on the outside collapsing the pocket and forcing Jackson Blancett to kind of throw off platform, right? And that just means he's got to reset his feet, right? A lot of these routes are timing routes, right? So the quarterback has to reset and throw. It can throw the timing off a little bit. But, man, the arm strength from Blancett there, I mean, that's probably my takeaway. Big-time stop there by Cameron. But my takeaway there is he reset and kind of flipped the ball similar like a shortstop would. And when he fielded the ball in the hole to first base, still threw about a 40-yard pass. But you're right, Jared. Sloan just kind of misjudged the jump on that one.
Leopards in punt formation. Blancett has it. He'll put his right foot into it, averaging about 40 yards a kick. It's going to take a huge bounce all the way down the Cameron sideline. Ball hit about the 48-yard line and takes about a 20-yard bounce. It rolls inside the 30. Leopards will down it there. Cameron will take over at their own 28-yard line.
Yeah, Jared, and those are those hidden yards in a football game, right? I mean, that is as big a play there as you can imagine on punt. Outside of it would have been a turnover because Lorena effectively flips the field position, right? Cameron there is expecting to get decent to good field position, maybe even get into plus territory on the Lorena side of the field, get a little momentum going, try to go to get a scoring drive, right? Get back in this game. Blancett there is able to flip the field with the great bounce there. You'd like to see the returner come up and try to field the ball, but that was a tricky one because it was coming down. And you can often fumble that. So a big-time kick by number 10, and we see him make an impact not only on offense but also on special teams.
So the Yeomen will have it 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. 8:16 left to go here in the first half. Lorena leading 21-0. Jacoby Scott now is going to take it, keep it, try to run around the hole, and he's going to be knocked off his pins. That was Hudson Hill coming up from his safety spot to kind of chop down Jacoby Scott. I think the best way to take somebody down that's got some good moves is just take the legs out.
Yeah, Jared, a great effort there by Hill. I mean, he's playing downhill from a safety position, right? So the Leopards are definitely committing more guys to the box. But another thing I also like, Jared, is there's like 3 or 4 red jerseys every time around the ball, getting off the tackle, and we didn't see much of that last week.
No gain on 1st down. 2nd and 10. Leopards appear to show blitz. Parker Bottoms walking up from his middle linebacker spot. Preston Powell on the outside as well. Leopards do come on a blitz right up the middle. That is Jax Aguirre on the run. He is hit hard right at the point of attack. Falls forward for about 3, maybe 4 on 2nd down. It's going to bring up about 3rd and 5.
And Lorena at that point had all 11 players within 10 yards of the football. I'm really surprised that someone on Cameron didn't try to check to a pass because there wasn't a safety back. Hudson Hill had creeped into the box, but nevertheless it was a run, setting up 3rd here in medium.
So 3rd down and 5 for the Yeomen. Snap back. Scott's going to looks to throw. That is going to be a catch. Wow. Travion Miles with the catch right on the Leopard sideline.
That is an incredible catch, Jared. I mean, that young man, that ball was underthrown. The quarterback was rolling out under duress. The coverage was actually good on the play. The ball was thrown really the only spot that would have been even remotely receivable, and that young man went down and grabbed it. So sometimes the offense just beats you, tip your cap.
1st and 10 for the Yeomen. Ball at their own 40-yard line. Clock dips under 6.5 minutes. Snap back to Scott. Hands it off right up the middle. I believe that is Lopez Pinchback, the big running back for Cameron. He's going to pick up about 8 on 1st down.
Yeah, and I think if you're looking for what's different from last week or the previous weeks versus this week for this Leopard defense, Lorena is definitely, even by alignment, Jared, they're challenging the Cameron receiving core. They're like, we're not going to let you run it. Like we're going to put guys in the box, and that so far has been the ideological change I've seen.
2nd down and about 1.5. Handoff to Lopez, pitch back. Makes a couple of guys miss before he's finally wrapped up. Hudson Hill in the middle of it. Mason Sears as well. But Lopez Pinchback will have enough for a Yeoman first down into Leopard territory.
Yeah, and Lopez Pinchback's one of those guys when you think you've got him, right? You think you've got him kind of held up and maybe the forward progress is going to be whistled dead. He kind of ekes out 3 or 4 more yards. And that's the type of running back's perfect for that kind of bunch scheme where he gets in there and just kind of hides behind his guys.
1st and 10, ball at the Leopard 46-yard line. Snap back to Scott. Play fake, looking to throw. Under pressure, Parker Bottoms puts a hit on Scott, and a flag comes in late. Bottoms loses his helmet, so he'll have to come off for a play anyway. We'll see what the flag is.
Jared, I'm wondering if they're going to flag him for hitting him low.
It's roughing the passer against Lorena, so it'll be a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Well, the hit definitely was not late. The quarterback was still in the process of throwing the football, so the only thing I can guess is the head umpire there thought that the hit was a little low. Much to the chagrin of the Leopard coaching staff over there, there was an exchange over there about about that one. But nevertheless, now Cameron back in business here outside the Leopard 30.
Snap back. Scott going to take it himself. Hit hard right in the middle. That is number 34. That's Marley Hamilton, Billy, coming up from getting his first action of the year. Had been playing on Thursdays, now getting his first action on Friday night, coming in and doing his job immediately. First play, and he's right in the middle of it.
Yeah, what I like to see more than anything, his teammates congratulating him, and he's got a huge smile down there, really enjoying his first opportunity, and a very impressive young athlete. Nice job there getting to the ball and making the stop.
2nd down at about 5. Snap back, handoff to Lopez Pinchback. He's going to try to bounce it outside, now cut it back. He's going to be dragged down by Adrian Medina. Keaton Leonard coming up, too, from his defensive back spot to try to take down Lopez Pinchback low. He'll be just short of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and inches just outside the 21.
And one of the things I can tell you from watching this first half versus what we've seen previously is that you definitely tell that Coach DeLeon and company had him working on tackling this week. The Leopards are definitely attacking the legs and hips of these running backs and receivers.
3rd and inches. Jacoby Scott with Jack Seguire behind him. He's going to be hit right at the line of scrimmage. It looks like it's going to be no gain. Parker Bottoms coming up once again, making the hit right at the point of attack for no gain.
Yeah, really nice job there by the entire front 7. And again, you called it, Parker Bottoms right in there at the play side gap. That was basically the same call they ran earlier where he actually ran by the ball carrier. That time he timed it perfectly, made the big stop, setting up a big 4th down here, Jared. And again, you talked about statement, right? At this point, this Leopard defense doesn't really care what the score is up there. They want to keep that 0 up there as long as they possibly can. And what a win would be for them morale-wise and confidence if they could get off the field.
So 4th and inches. Several extra linemen in for Cameron. Snap back handoff to Lopez Pinchback. He'll have the first down, pick up about 3. Good play call there from Cameron. Adrian Medina coming up to make the hit, but not a whole lot you can do when you've got your running back who doubles as a defensive end, just lowers his shoulder and then falls forward for 4 yards.
Yeah, they run the little loop motion, right, to kind of test your eyes, right? Test your eyes as a linebacker, right? So you're just a step slow because you're reading and reacting, and then you come downhill with that powerful running game, Jared. Definitely so, right? That's a tough one to stop.
Yeoman in the red zone, 1st and 10 at the Lorena 18. Jacoby Scott at the helm for the Yeoman. DeMarquez Lopez Pinchback in the backfield. Scott's going to keep it running behind Lopez Pinchback. He's hit at his Ty Hatton right at the point of attack. Bringing down Scott. It'll be a gain of 2 on first down.
Yeah, and a really nice job again. You'll hear me say his name again, Parker Bottoms. Now, he's not going to record a stat on that play because, the ball carrier cut inside, but he cut inside because Parker was able to get to the outside and set the edge of the defense, causing him to cut back with the rest of his 10 teammates can make the play there. So, nice team defense there.
2nd down and 8. Snap back. Scott with it, rolling left, throws it into the corner of the end zone, way out of bounds. Good job. That's Connor Johnson in coverage. Pass intended for Angel Castillo. But again, the throw from Scott was way out of bounds, so it's incomplete, and that'll bring up 3rd down.
There was a flag on the play, Jared, on the Cameron sideline. Looks like the referees are discussing.
It looks like it's an illegal formation against Cameron, so that may be one of those situations where either receiver wasn't on the line of scrimmage or they were covering somebody up. I've got to think if you're Lorena, maybe you want to decline that penalty. And that is the case. They are going to decline the penalty.
And to your point, too, I know the play's not going to – the play actually is going to count now. They declined it. Nice coverage by Connor Johnson there. There wasn't really a window to throw the ball. I actually liked the fact that the Cameron quarterback saw that and knew it was second down, just chunked it out of bounds. But really nice coverage there from Connor Johnson. We've seen him improve every week in the secondary for the Leopards.
So third down and about 8 for Cameron. Snap back. Scott rolling right. Pass is going to hit his receiver. That's Travion Miles. Hits him in the hands. Ball a little low, but Miles not able to come up with it. Falls incomplete, and that'll bring up fourth down. Ball spotted at about the 16-yard line. They need the 9, or about between the 8 and 9 for a first down.
Yeah, Jared, and there's certain plays that you see, right? And then you see a play like that, and then you can kind of understand why the team may be 1 and 2 and struggling, because that's a play you got to come up with for your quarterback. Your quarterback's out there running for his life, throwing the ball on the money. Third down, you got to make that catch.
So fourth down, Yeoman going for it. Scott has it rolling to his right, flag down. Leopards running to the ball. Kaysen Conlon, Brody DeLeon in the game. They're going to tackle Scott for a loss of about 4. Sloan Blackwell in on defense as well. We'll have to get the flag.
Yeah, it came down to the Leopard secondary, which is normally either a hold or interference, but I'm interested to see what this is.
They're going to call holding against the Lorena defense. Good job by our officials expert, Billy Rutherford. Because Billy never held when he played football. Right, Billy?
I did not. I only held the football close, high and tight with 3 points of pressure, as Coach Biles taught me.
So that'll be a 10-yard penalty against the Leopards. More importantly, it'll be an automatic first down. So we've seen twice now, Billy, Cameron convert on fourth down due to Leopard penalties. So not what you want when your defense is trying to make a statement. But that'll move the ball inside the 10-yard line all the way down to the 6, where it'll be first and goal for the Yeoman. 2:08 left to go here in the first half. I want to remind everyone, stick around at halftime. We'll have special guest and longtime friend of the program join us, and then we'll also try to bring you the homecoming festivities, where we will crown a new homecoming queen.
Yeah, on that play, Jared, I was at the point I was watching the quarterback scramble, but when I looked up and saw the flag come out, I didn't see a white jersey around the Leopard secondary, so it must have been early on in that play.
Lorena's going to call a timeout here, Billy. We'll go ahead and keep it here. 2 minutes. Oh, correction, it's not a timeout. It's a 2-minute warning. We're going to have to get used to that this year. The first year in high school football, they have the 2-minute warning, and I kind of like this in that you just don't have as many opportunities with only 3 timeouts, and really with young men playing this game, it's nice to have that additional stoppage of play.
No, 100%. And Jared, another reflection of mine too is I feel like this first half has flown by. Right, I mean, it's just flown by. I mean, is this Cameron's second possession, third possession? I mean, it's like I feel like Lorena hasn't had the ball much either, right? So this first half has absolutely flown by. But I like if it wasn't a 2-minute timeout, I still like the timeout if you're Coach Johnson. Your defense has been on the field quite a bit, right? Because you had the scoop and score touchdown, and then you had a 3-and-out, and Cameron got the ball right back. Get out there and challenge your defense, right? You talked about it, and I think it was a great point to make. That even though it's a 3-possession game, this defense is like trying to make a statement, right? They're trying to prove not just to everyone else in the community, prove it to themselves, right? That all the work that they're doing is paying off. We've seen it flash this year. We've seen it flash in this game. But to hold Cameron to a field goal attempt here, or even better, a goose egg going into halftime, would be a huge shot in the arm. But again, don't try to do too much, right? Do your role, do your job, attack the defense, shed blocks, and go make a tackle.
So Cameron's going to break the huddle now. 2 minutes left to go. Going to come out. Everybody inside the tackle box. Going to be a toss back to Travion Miles. Just going to try to run to the corner. Brody DeLeon catches him from behind. He'll drag him down. It's a loss of 3. Also, Kaysen Conlon coming up from his linebacker spot to give Miles nowhere to run. Good job by the Leopards pursuing.
Yeah, and I could say it right there. The Leopards are setting the edge of their defense, so no matter what side that Cameron tries to run to, they have really, really accentuated in this game getting outside and setting that edge to turn the ball back to the inside of the field where all of your help is. Really great job there by Conlon. I really like that young man. He's extremely quick and strong at the point of attack, covers a lot of ground. If he can continue to develop at that position, Lorena's got themselves a good one.
Second down and goal. Hand off to Lopez Pinchback. He's going to pick up about 5 on second down.
Yeah, the play call there, Jared. I mean, I think Babno. Obviously, this is going to be 4-down territory. You would think with that play call, but he's in no rush for that Leopard high-powered offense to get back on the field. And again, right, this high school football, at Lorena they seem like they're automatic, but field goals are almost never automatic at the high school level. Lorena gets a stop here, makes Babino's decision tough whether he kicks it or not.
So 3rd and goal from the 5. Snap back to Scott. He's being chased. He's got a man in the flat. It is Lopez Pinchback. He makes the catch and takes it into the end zone for the Cameron touchdown.
Yeah, and that's that is a tough play to defend. You have to be underneath that almost instantly. If you get caught peeking in the backfield, you're beat. That's why you run it down there. Really well executed. Really nice play call there by Coach Babineau. Hudson Hill was just a little late getting over to the flat there. Now he's got a lot of traffic to run through if he's playing man. So hats off to the play call there, and a nice response here right at the end of the first half from the Cameron Yo.
Cesar Nahara on to attempt the extra point. Yeoman a little bit late in getting player out. Now ready to go. Snap back. Looks like the snap was mishandled. And that is DeAllen Wilcox, who is going to be tackled. That's Trey Moore and Hudson Hill. So the attempt is no good. So with 35 seconds left to go, your new score is Lorena 21. The Cameron Yo 6. We'll take a commercial break and come right back. It's Lorena Leopard football powered by Rogue Media.
Hey, Leopard fans, looking to build the home of your dreams? Look no further than BAM Builders, your trusted local custom home builder. From foundation to finish, BAM brings your vision to life with quality, craftsmanship, and a team that truly cares. It's time to build something amazing. Right here in
Waco
Leopard.
Hewitt Temple and Killeen, here to help you with all your cash flow needs. Bring in all items of value for quick, hassle-free loans or sell them at a fair value and receive the best customer service in Central Texas. From Rolexes to firearms, our experienced staff is here to help when you need cash with compassion and understanding. Check out our Google reviews and come see for yourself. We are proud supporters of Lorena Leopard football. Syntex Pond. We are not in the loan or merchandise business. We are in the people business. Come check us out.
What I love about Yellow Rose. What I love about Yellow Rose is the connections, is getting to meet people and bring joy into their life, take their most important asset and make it more beautiful.
You'll find companies out there that are willing to tell you what you want to hear, but they won't stand behind what they say.
Back to live action kick from Cesar Nahara picked up. That's Brock DeLeon. Makes a couple of guys miss. He's across the 30-yard line.
I really like the toughness of Brock DeLeon, and I know that's probably redundant because of his last name, right? Like Coach DeLeon and his wife, both of their young men are just super tough, disciplined, great kids off the field. And I like him. He's a little undersized. He's a youngster, but out there running hard, right? Stuck his nose in there, got the tough yards. And, sometimes it's not just about the measurables, right? You can't measure the heart and the want to. And I can tell you this, number 14 for Lorena's got more want to than he needs right now. That kid's playing hard.
So Leopards with it 1st and 10, ball at their own 32-yard line. 27 seconds left to go. Leopards still with all 3 timeouts remaining. Snap back to Blancett. Looks to the outside. Ball is going to be a little outside of the reach of Carson Miller. Is going to fall incomplete. Miller doing a good job coming back to that ball, just couldn't quite haul it in.
Yeah, and that's a long throw. That's a long throw, and then Jackson's going to see that. Blancett's going to see that on film and know that, he was a little on his back foot a little bit there, right? He didn't really get on his front foot that much, and he'll fix that. He's got plenty of arm strength, right? That's the thing. But, quarterback play is as much about your feet as it is about your arm, right? So setting up a good base, step to the, transfer your weight and deliver a strike, and we've seen him do it all year long. That was just one that he just got a little bit on his back foot.
So 2nd and 10. 3 receivers to the right. Snap back to Blancett. Looking that way. Nowhere to go. Now he's going to take off and run with it. Flag down. He'll be tackled for about a gain of 2. See if the Leopards decide to take a timeout here. We'll have to get the call. And I'm not sure the flag thrown by that far side line judge. Again, this official in no hurry to make the call. And it looks like it's a legal procedure against the Leopards. Billy, and I think with those three receivers on the right, somebody just wasn't on the line, or two guys were on the line, and somebody was covered up. So
yeah, and they're seeing a coverage they traditionally don't see in practice, right? You got Cameron playing two high safeties about 20, 30 yards off the ball, and this may be a situation where that screen pass we talked about during the break, or or the draw here we may see.
Three receivers to the right, snap back to Blancett. And he's going to step up into the pocket, nowhere to go, and he's going to take off and run. He's got some room if he can stay on his feet, but he is going to be wrapped up. A whole host of yeomen will drag him down, and that will do it. That will take us to the end of the first half. Leopard offense shined in the first quarter, kind of sputtered in the second. They lead the Cameron Yeomen 21-6. We will take a few commercial breaks. When we come back, we will be joined in the booth by a special guest, longtime friend of the program. You don't want to miss it. You are watching Lorena Leopard football, powered by Rogue Media.
Tractors invites you to save big on their full lineup of new DYM tractors. Whether you're a weekend warrior or a full-time rancher, we offer tractors ranging from 25 to 75 horsepower. Why choose Epperson? They're proud to be the 2024 TYM Dealership of the Year. Come meet their expert team of tractor pros who can help you find the horsepower you need with a deal you'll love. Epperson Tractor Sales and Service, where service
Syntex Pond, Waco, Hewitt, Temple, and Killeen. Here to help you with all your cash flow needs. Bring in all items of value for quick, hassle-free loans or sell them at a fair value and receive the best customer service in Central Texas. From Rolexes to firearms, our experienced staff is here to help when you need cash with compassion and understanding. Check out our Google reviews and come see for yourself. We are proud supporters of Lorena Leopard football. Syntex Pond. We are not in the loan or merchandise business. We are in the people business. Come check us out.
I'm Rusty Robinson with Aquanauts Custom Pool and Spa, where quality and design makes the difference. We specialize in gunite pools, remodels, fiberglass pools. We've got all the selections here in the office between your tile, your coping, your veneer, top of the line equipment, concrete finishes, and anything else that you need. We've got glass tiles, pebble plaster, top of the line travertine coping, and 3cm, 5cm bullnose, anything that you could want on the pool. We're going to come out to the house, do a 3D design, get everything you need so that we can see your house, your pool, in your yard so that we can make any adjustments.
Coming 2025, your Lorena Leopards lead the Cameron Yeomen 21-6. We are now joined in the broadcast booth by a longtime friend of the program and current Lorena School Board member, Kevin Taylor. Kevin, thank you so much for taking time. I know you may have some homecoming duties. You got to get down to the field to take some pictures of your daughter, the junior class princess. So congratulations to you and your wife and to her as well. But thanks so much for taking the time to come up and join us.
Yes, sir. Sir, I want to start off, guys, thank y'all, right, for doing this every week. We really appreciate it. So that first game going to Malakoff, we were late coming from the volleyball game, so I relied on y'all to tell us what was going on. So we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Right? I know y'all don't do this for the money. Y'all do that for the love of Lorena.
Yep, definitely.
Y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that, Coach.
Thank you. Well, I think one of the things that we noticed when we first got to Lorena this season, obviously you look out of the broadcast booth or in the stadium, you look out and you see this field. This was kind of something I know that had been talked about for a while. You guys finally had to get it done because the turf had been here for 11 years. Just kind of talk about what went into that.
Well, Dr. Kuchera brought it to us last summer, and we started talking about it, and we just had to do something. It's about the safety for these kids. We use this facility. We use that turf out there all the time. There's kids on it in the community, our athletes. everyone. And we also fixed the track at the same time so we could again start hosting the district track meets here. And so we did. We made a big investment to that, and we're investing in this community. I know it's something we don't want to spend money on. Nobody really wants to spend money in an economy like the way it is, but we had to do so. And
right.
So,
and I'm glad
it
you
looks
mentioned
great.
the track. I'm glad you mentioned the track with the black and the gray. It's something I haven't really seen before, but it is sharp looking. And I think that's a good point that you mentioned. It's not just our football team out here on Friday nights. It's on Saturdays, Future Lorena football. You've got the track that during track season will get used, but right now you see all the band and the cheerleaders and the drill team. And so it's not just about football player safety, but it's about the safety of all these kids and then the entire community that's here using this facility on the weekends. But it looks really, really sharp. Love the state of Texas, darker turf in the middle.
Coach Johnson, he's done a good job. That really looks sharp. He did a great job on the design of this. We went with the black so we didn't get as much fade in the red like we had last time. And it does. It really pops. It looks really, really good. So we're proud of it.
And the homage to the state championship, 87,
yes.
and also, the 2021 teams I thought was a really nice touch, and the black definitely pops. So what are some things that we talked about the school board, right? And it's one of those jobs that I know you guys are like, we talk about a thankless job, right? Like, you guys, anytime you're in a leadership, kind of like a council or leadership at all, normally you only accentuate, you only really ever hear the negative, right? What are some things you guys got going on with the school board that you're excited about?
Man, we're excited about these kids, right? We're excited about, growing this community, growing it the right way, doing the right things for everyone here, not just the kids, but families, grandparents, something for everyone to be proud of, right? And I'm going to tell you something I was super proud of was that parade we had on Wednesday. My goodness, there were so many people there, kids, little kids, grandparents, elderly folks in the community. They didn't have anyone they were with. They were just there watching the parade. That's what Lorena is. That's why we're all here, right? And so I'm proud of this community. I'm proud to be a Leopard. I'm an old Conley cadet first, right? That's what I was first.
I remember.
But I am so proud to be a part of this community. It is really something special. You go to Midway, you go to different places. They don't have this. They don't have that small town feel. We have it. It's something to be very, very proud of. And you're right, Billy, we hear a lot of negativity, different situations, different things as school board members, right? But that's why we're there. We take those slings and arrows for this community. We do what's right. We make decisions that need to be done, the hard decisions. But it's for the community. It's someone has to do it, right? And we do it because we love this place. And I know I speak for all the board members in that. And I'm very, very proud to be a Lorena Leopard and a school board member of this school. So.
Good. I mean, and you mentioned the love that Billy and I have for high school football, but also for this community and these kids. And we're going to talk about football. This is what we would be doing anyway, even if we weren't in this booth. You're taking time out of your day to volunteer. You and the rest of the board and just doing a phenomenal job in one of the most difficult roles. I couldn't imagine doing it, and so certainly our appreciation and thanks as well. We talked about the football field, but I'd be remiss if I didn't also mention that the gym also got a little bit of a makeover as well.
Looks sharp too.
And I think it kind of goes to that same point that it's not just the high school students that use that gym.
That's right.
Obviously, lots of people in the community, basketball and volleyball, and then also, you'll see in the wintertime they'll use it for the Future Lorena basketball leagues. And then one of the things that I didn't really expect us to do this past year, but I'm looking forward to it, and I know it's going to happen even more, is hosting playoff games, other schools, and that's just another opportunity to kind of present Lorena on a grander scale and show not just the Central Texas community, but really areas throughout the state what it's like to be here.
That's right. And I got to say this to you guys, and we are proud of these facilities, just like you're saying. And I will say something about that Texas logo. It is so defined that I say, hey, that's Port Aransas right down there. And, it is. It's really a pretty place. But I will say this. Dr. Tharp, Gary Sutherland, his team, they do a phenomenal job maintaining this facility. These facilities, plural, but they do a great job maintaining our schools. If you walk inside our schools are some of the cleanest. They look brand new. They're 20 plus years old. Yep. They still keep putting paint on it. They put new flooring down about every 10 to 15 years. But you know what? They take very good care of that. They're very prideful in what they do here for this school. And so I'm very proud of that, and I'm very proud of them for as good a job as they do for this school.
Yeah, I mean, few people have given more to this community than Gary Sutherland, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you're from here, you don't even have to really be from here to know Gary, but you know, he's a staple of the Lorena community. He's a pillar, and we're lucky and fortunate enough to have multiple pillars, almost like the Pantheon, right? We have tons of them. But I did want to brag a little bit about the school district here, because wasn't the school district recognized?
Well, yeah,
yes.
I kind of like that you brought that up, Kevin, because we talked to Mr. Rambo a couple of weeks ago in Malakoff, and that was right after the TEA had released their scores, and Lorena got, I think it was a 96, which was the highest score of any school in Region 12.
That's right.
And so obviously it is the academic achievement of the students, but it's also, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kevin, it includes things like having a school, having the facilities that look the way that they do, and that are functional the way they do. And so again, to Gary and his team, and to the Steve Ishams of the world, the John Wilsons, all of those guys deserve so much credit in making this school and this community what it is.
We're blessed. We're blessed, and I think that's one of the things that when we moved here about almost 10 years ago now, I had an older son at Midway, and he graduated from Midway, and I said we've got to get our kids to a smaller school, a more involved community, and we did it. And we're proud that we did that. And it's very frustrating sometimes when I hear the negativity, because you don't necessarily know the other side of it, right? And so we saw that this is a unified community. It is different than most places, and we're very proud of that.
Well, and that's the thing you talk about moving here. There's actually a lot of Lorena football and volleyball fans that are very, very happy that you made that decision, Dad, to move here. Me being one of them. I think Kaysen's freshman year, I was sitting next to you in the bleachers, and I was talking to another friend of mine about, I think it was 25, I think his number, or I was mentioned how explosive he was on a kickoff, and you're like, well, that's my kid, So we became instant friends because we started talking football. But I do want to give you the opportunity to brag on your daughter, right?
Sure.
Because my daughter is in 3rd grade, and she takes tumbling here in Lorena at a great facility.
She's very athletic.
And your daughter was one of her coaches and mentors, and Zoe, my daughter, just raves about her.
Mm-hmm.
So on and off the field, but just an opportunity. Jared talked about how she's the junior queen.
Oh, yeah.
Just to give you an opportunity to brag on your other kid.
She is a precious little young lady, and I tell you what, today, just like this right now, my wife said, you better be done and down here, and you better be right front and center, and I will be.
I think she's tapping her watch.
I'm very proud of this young lady. She is a great student, a great person in the PALS program here at the school, and that's something too that's really. I was here during the campus, during the school day the other day, and I saw all the PAL involvement. I saw her out there working with those kids. It's impressive. And I'm just so proud of the young lady she is and who she is becoming as a young adult. So, she's going on. She wants to go to Baylor University, and that's going to be very painful for Dad's pocket. But I'm so proud of her, and whatever she wants to do, I will support her.
Yeah, I mean, truly an impressive young lady. That's one of the reasons, I wanted to get an opportunity to talk about it, but also just personally thank you, Dad, right? Because, to see my daughter who's 9 look up to her so much, right? Doing something she wants, and that's one of the things we talk about Trigger Niemeyer a lot, right? These kids, Brody Daly, these kids that are on and off the field are exactly what you want your kids to develop into. So it's really cool that Lorena has.
We have so many.
These mentor programs too, right? That accentuates it.
And we have so many kids like that, and and it's just great involvement. They have great involvement in our community. They do so many things that a lot of people aren't seeing, right? And it's just something to be really proud of. And I know that our PALS program, my son was a PAL member, and now my daughter is well, and they really love it. It's something that they're really proud of, and a program they're really involved in, and they get a lot out of. And so that's something else. I know we're all out here together for these athletics, but you're right, we're all here primarily for academics. This is the unity factor for our community, right? But those classrooms and stuff's where it matters, and that's where we're going to build good people for the future.
Good. Well, I think they are about to start the homecoming festivities on the field, so we're going to the PALS program is a great way to end it. Kevin, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Come back anytime. Thank you so much.
Hey.
And tell you what, Josh, go ahead and kick it down to the field. We'll step aside, and you guys watching at home can enjoy the homecoming 2025 festivities here at Lorena High School.
Thank y'all again.
Representing the freshman class as Prince and Princess are Mackenzie Powell and Brody Cook. Mackenzie is the daughter of Brittany Byer and Joel Kilpatrick, and Brody is the son of Adam and Kristen Cook and Sabrina Cook. Please welcome your 2025 freshman class, Prince and Princess. The sophomore class, Prince and Princess, are Piper Williams and Daniel Cunningham. Piper is the daughter of Ivy and Taylor Williams, Daniel, son of Liza and Jay Cunningham. They cannot be here tonight due to surgery, so Piper is escorted by her brother, Braxton Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, the sophomore class, Prince and Princess. Making their way across the field are our junior Prince and Princess, Allison Taylor and Kit Seeley. Allison is the daughter of Kathy and Kevin Taylor, and Kit is the son of Melissa and Bob Seeley. Congratulations to the junior Prince and Princess. Now for our 2025 Homecoming Queen nominees. Let's welcome our first nominee, Remy Leanne Elizabeth Gilbert. Remy is the daughter of Kristen and Andrew Gilbert. She is being escorted tonight by her father, Andrew. Remy is a very busy student and athlete participating in the National Honor Society and earning the academic awards for Practicum of Human Services, Algebra 1, and U.S. History. She is a student leader for Fellowship of Christian Athletes, a member of HOSA, and has also competed in FCCLA competitions, placing second at regionals. As a current captain of the cheer team, she has earned All-American honors every year as a Leopard cheerleader. She has also been an LHS golfer for the last 4 years. She volunteers as a Special Olympics buddy, serves as a student teacher for 2 amazing kindergarten classes outside of school. She volunteers in kids ministry at Renewed Church and works with Little Let's Cheer as a cheer coach. In her spare time, Remy enjoys shopping, grabbing coffee, going out with friends, studying her Bible, babysitting, and most of all, spending time with her family. After graduation, she plans to attend either University of Mary Hardin Baylor or Tarleton State University and getting her bachelor's degree in nursing to become a pediatric nurse. Ladies and gentlemen, Remy Gilbert. Making her way across the field is Summer Johnson. Summer is the daughter of Shelley and Jared Johnson and is being escorted this evening by her father, Jared. Summer excels at both academics and athletics as a member of the National Honor Society, as well as the Lorena basketball team. She has been an academic all-district selection all 3 years of high school. She is a 4-year letter winner for basketball and track, and has been awarded the team MVP for basketball and was voted Sprinter of the Year in track. In her spare time, Summer loves hanging out with her family and friends. She enjoys hiking, camping, playing with her niece and nephew, and reading her Bible. Summer also enjoys beating her brothers in fantasy football. After graduation, Summer plans to be a collegiate athlete and major in biomedical sciences to prepare for anesthesiologist assistant school after completing undergraduate studies. Once again, Summer Johnson. Crossing the field now is Kayla Peebles, daughter of Linda and Chad Peebles. Tonight, Kayla is being escorted by her father, Chad. Kayla has cheered for the Lorena Cheer program the past 4 years, where she now serves as a varsity cheer captain. She also dedicated 7 years to competitive cheerleading, qualifying for the prestigious Summit competition each year. In addition, she is a head cheer coach at Wild Cheer and Tumbling, located right here in Lorena. She is a 5-time All-American cheerleader. Kayla was a member of the track and field team for 2 years. She has given many volunteer hours to Shepherd's Heart food drives, as well as coaching younger girls to prepare for cheer tryouts and working with the Little Let's Cheer program. In her spare time, Kayla deeply values the time she shares with her family and friends. Whether it's enjoying dinners with her parents, spending time with her boyfriend, working out alongside friends, or supporting her sister Kinsley as she cheers on her at the volleyball games. She also holds dear the meaningful Bible studies with her Mimi and Papa, as well as the special trips with her Maymay. She would like to extend her heartfelt gratitude to her mom and dad for their constant love and unwavering support. After graduation, Kayla plans on attending the University of Mary Hardin Baylor, where she hopes to continue her passion for cheerleading as part of their cheer squad. Alongside that, she wants to pursue her dream of becoming a pediatric nurse, and she always has a heart for helping kids. Let's hear it again for Kayla Peebles. Now we welcome Tia Yesenia Black Pettigrew. Tia is the daughter of Linda and Ollie Pettigrew, and is being escorted this evening by her father, Ollie. Tia has a busy schedule in and out of school, serving as a 3-year member of the Legacy Drill Team and a co-captain this year. She is also a pre-professional competitive dancer at a night dance company, and for the past 2 years. She's also served as an Indonesian dancer at the Sanggar Budaya Nusantara, where she performs across Texas, spreading her culture. She's volunteered at Shepherd's Heart and the Waco Goodfellas to help those in need. Tia is also an excellent student and artist. She is a member of the National Honor Society, received an English Academic Excellence Award, and in art, she has received a Scholastic Silver Key in Drawing, Scholastic Honorable Mention in Poetry, and a gold medal in the Visual Arts Scholastic events. In her free time, Tia enjoys spending time with her family, thrifting vintage clothing, and binge-watching K-dramas. After graduation, she'll be taking advantage of her staff invite to work at the HTE dance and then heading off to travel the world. Ladies and gentlemen, Tia Pettigrew. Let's welcome our final nominee, Zoe Steele. Zoe is the daughter of Amber and Timothy Steele. She is being escorted tonight by her father, Tim. Zoe has been an active member as a student trainer, a Lorena girls varsity soccer player, and a member of the LHS track team. In the classroom, she excels as a member of the National Honor Society, a passionate member of the PALS team, and a spirit leader and a leader in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Zoe volunteers at Renew Church in Waco in their youth ministry. She enjoys working out, hanging out with friends, doing crafts, and spending time with Jesus. After graduation, Zoe plans on going to Sam Houston or Tarleton State to major in kinesiology and minor in special education. She wants to become an occupational therapist for kids with disabilities. Once again, Zoe Seal. Now making his way across the field in the 2025 Homecoming Queen, Brody DeLeon. Brody is the son of Ashley and Paul DeLeon. Brody is accompanied this evening by the 2024 Homecoming Queen, Harper Smith. Brody has a busy schedule as a 3-year member of the varsity football team and a 4-year member of the varsity soccer team, and they volunteer at various youth sports camps throughout the year. He enjoys contributing to the development of young athletes. Brody is also a member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes and a 2-year member of the PALS program at LHS. Brody has earned multiple academic all-district awards, 2 for football and 3 for soccer. In his spare time, Brody enjoys hanging out with family and friends and his dog, Leroy. He likes playing video games, going out to eat with his friends, and listening to music. Brody loves all holidays, especially Halloween, and is happy to tag along with his mom to Hobby Lobby to shop for all things Christmas. Brody is looking forward to furthering his football career at college wherever God decides to take him and pursuing his degree in education. Brody plans to teach and coach after graduation like his dad. Please join me in congratulating Brody De Leon. Crowning our queen tonight is Lorena's 2024 homecoming queen, Harper Smith, daughter of Corey and Michael Smith. Welcome back to Lorena, Harper Smith. And now, the moment we have all been waiting for. Your 2025 Lorena High School homecoming queen is Zoe Steele. Congratulations to all of the homecoming court participants. If the court would please move down the track towards the concession stand, we'll get ready for the second half of tonight's game. Thank you, and give it again for the homecoming court 2025.
That is your 2025 homecoming queen, Zoe Seal, of course, escorted by the homecoming king, Brody De Leon. De Leon doing well on the field tonight, Billy, over 100 yards and a touchdown in the first half. Leopards lead 21-6.
Yeah, I mean, Brody's definitely leading the way with the running game. And the first half was a little disjointed, I think. The Leopards were in a rhythm early. Kind of just the flow of the game. You had the scoop and score as everything kind of transpired there.
Yeah, so Jackson Glanson only 4 of 10 for 44 yards and the one touchdown to Sloan Blackwell. Blackwell leads with one catch, 28 yards. Carson Miller, a couple of catches for 12 yards. And then Kyle Coates, the one catch. De Leon, 8 rushes for 107 yards and a touchdown. Blanchett, a couple of carries and 15 yards for Lorena. I tell you what, Billy, while the teams are starting to come back out, let's take one more commercial break. We come back, we'll talk about the second half and try to pass along some scores from the area. It's halftime here at Homecoming 2025. You're watching Lorena Leopard football powered by Rogue Media.
Come see us at the Sonic in Lorena, 302 North Frontage Road. Rewards and half-price drinks on the app. Sign up today.
For more than 70 years, Community Bank and Trust has established a strong legacy of care and trust. Time and technology have changed. Checking and savings accounts haven't gone away. We still provide home loans, business loans, and personal loans. And we also offer state-of-the-art digital banking options. In a world where banking can feel impersonal, we still believe in one-on-one personal care. Community Bank and Trust, a legacy of dependability.
Member FDIC.
And Yellow Rose Painting will stand behind that.
What do I love about Yellow Rose? What I love about Yellow Rose is the connections, is getting to meet people and bring joy into their life, take their most important asset and make it more beautiful.
You'll find companies out there that are willing to sell you what you want to hear, but they won't stand behind what they sell you. And Yellow Rose Painting will stand behind that.
Welcome back into Leopard Field. Jared Brown, Billy Rutherford bringing you the action. Leopards up 21-6. Josh Beard, the producer tonight, his younger and not as good-looking brother Zach up on top running the video. Josh paid me to say that. Justin Peebles, our engineer, and Rick Jesperson, our statistician. Want to welcome you back in. Again, Zoe Seal, the 2025 Homecoming Queen. Congratulations to her and her family, and to all the nominees as well, on a phenomenal end to this homecoming week. Billy, Leopards are going to have to kick it off to start this second half. What do we need to see?
Yeah, I mean, I think you need to see obviously on defense, right? Like they gave up a score there at the end of the first half. They definitely get back to their game plan, right? Game plan was to be aggressive, load the box. Obviously, playing a lot of man on the outside, so you're gonna have to make sure that you stick with your guy in coverage. You don't give up the big play, but continue to team tackle, playing downhill. And on offense, you just got to establish a running game and get Blancett back into a rhythm, right? Like block those edges and give him a clean pocket.
Connor Johnson with the kick to start the second half. It is a fair caught by DeMarcus Lopez, pinchback.
Yeah, the old pooch kick there, he fielded it well on that. And, again, the thing about the pooch kick is it prevents the big return from the explosive Cameron returners. But, the old school football guy in me says, man, you give him the ball in the 34, right? But, in the aggregate, a big return, right, it probably balances out, so with the analytic side of things.
Yeoman will have it 1st and 10 at their own, call it 33-yard line.
Everyone meandering back to their seats after the exciting halftime entertainment.
We've still got all the pictures going down on the track, but we're ready to go. Scott takes the handoff. Looks like a little bit of that trickeration that we saw in the first half, Billy, kind of a little inside handoff to Lopez pinchback. Leopards kind of smell it out this time, stuff it for a gain of 2.
Yeah, and what you see is, Franklin runs that same play, and you see the difference between the team that runs it as their base offense and a team that probably installed it this week. Wasn't ran as clean, but I'm telling you, Medina, number 7 for Lorena, came through downhill, blew that play up before it had a chance. I mean, he came downhill with a vengeance.
So second down, call it 8. Cameron offense will all look back at the sideline, getting the signals from the coaching staff. It's a handoff. Lopez pinchback trying to go right up the middle. He's met right at the point of attack by Mason Sears initially, but then Medina coming up, laying a hard hit. Preston Powell in there as well. They're going to give him a gain of 2, so it's going to bring up about 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, again, it's really good to see more than one red jersey in open space trying to make a tackle, right? The Leopards are gang tackling. They're hitting, they're coming up to the wrapping up. Second and third guys making the stop. Like a good team defense early from the Leopards.
3rd down and 5. Scott going to go way down the field. Helmet comes flying off. That is Travion Miles. Not sure what happened there. Looked like Kit Seeley in coverage, but his helmet comes off. Miles' helmet comes off. Pass is incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down in what would appear to be a punting situation for the Yeoman.
Yeah, and a nice job by the Leopard defense coming out after the first half. They give up the late score at the end of the first half. They come right back out, get Cameron to go 3 and out to get their offense the ball back. And again, I would look to see Coach Peavyhouse here. He's probably loving the fact he's got the ball back, right? Establish the run, go back to that balanced offense, get your quarterback in a rhythm, and do what you do best, and that's get big chunk plays.
And now looks like some personnel, a little bit of a mix-up there, and Leopards are going to have to burn a timeout. Billy will go ahead and keep it right here.
Yeah, there was something there that the coaching staff didn't like from a look standpoint, whether it being personnel or just alignment there. And, again, you can't take them with you, but it is early here in the third quarter. But you'd rather have, get your guys aligned right. Everyone knows what they're going to do. Maybe they got a different look that they haven't seen on film. So, those timeouts happen for a myriad of reasons, but regardless, that's why they gave you 3.
Well, teams are going to come out from their respective sidelines once again. Again, Jacoby Scott back in punt formation for the Yeoman. This is kind of an area where you got to play it safe if you're the Leopard defense. Snap back. Scott will put his right foot into it, End-over-end kick. It is caught by Brock DeLeon at about the 35-yard line. He'll return it to just shy of the 40. And so a good job by the Leopard defense, Billy, forcing Cameron to go 3 and out. Lorena offense is going to get it back in good field position.
Yeah, and what I really liked there from Brock DeLeon is he caught the ball and went north and south, right? Knowing the Leopards already had good field position, he just went basically get as much as he possibly could get before he got out of bounds. And yeah, I mean, if you're a Leopard fan and you're going into halftime, you say, hey, we're going to get a 3 and out. We're going to get the ball back on our own 39-yard line almost. I think you take it. So they're in business.
So 1st and 10 at their own 39-yard line. Sloan Blackwell will move from the left to the right side of the line. Snap back, hand off to Brody DeLeon, running right. It's going to get bounced outside. That is a nice play there by Brody Aguirre. Just kind of stretching that play to the outside and then runs Brody DeLeon out of bounds for no gain.
Yeah, Brody DeLeon's first namesake, Brody Aguirre, really nice job there of setting the edge and running, just kind of stringing that play out, right? Just stringing it out and not letting that speed from Brody DeLeon catch the edge. And that's something in the first half we saw Cameron really struggle with. So maybe the Leopards look to hit him inside more.
Second down, they're going to say he lost a yard on that play. Second down and 11, snap back. Blancett fakes to DeLeon. Now going down the sideline, he's got Carson Miller. Makes the catch. A nice job by Carson Miller over the shoulder in traffic. Kind of caught it over Edgar Velasquez. He takes it all the way down into Cameron territory. They'll spot him at the 33-yard line. A big Epperson Tractor first down.
Yeah, big time throw there by Jackson Blancett, and even a better catch there by Carson Miller.
Leopards working quickly, snap back, slant route to Espinosa, a little bit behind him. It's going to fall incomplete. It'll be second down.
Yeah, that's one that Zachary Espinosa is going to ask Jackson in practice. Probably, hey man, can you put that a little bit out in front of me? Because there's a lot of guys in the middle of the field there that are looking for a big time hit. Fortunately, Espinosa, takes a look, but he's okay. But that's one Jackson's going to want to put out in front of him. Let your talented slot receiver run after the catch.
2nd and 10, snap back, hand off to DeLeon, running up the middle, bounces it out to the left, makes a couple guys miss. He's going to be wrapped up at about the 27-yard line. Be about 4 yards short of a first down, bring up 3rd and short.
Yeah, I mean, 2nd and long, right? So what do? You hand the ball off to Brody DeLeon, and he gets you 6 of it back, setting up a 3rd and absolutely